Hi everybody, Cheaply Chic, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing another journal with me video where I am working in the Timeless journal. I'm so excited. I am having so much fun with this. I did create a couple spreads that I have already shared, and it is the first 2 pages in this book, and I have had so much fun doing some of this collaging and paper piecing. It's just been a lot of fun, and it's especially fun to do things a little bit differently with this journal. I'm not quite certain what I'm doing today. I would like to try to mix it up a little bit, although I have the other image out of the digital kit that came with this journal collection this month, and it is the lady who belongs to this gentleman, and I definitely want to do a spread with her. I'm not certain if I'm going to be doing that first, but then I also have a lot of these coffee stain bags that I shared in another video. All of those links will be down below, by the way. I think in today's video I'm going to be doing the center spread of this journal. I don't know what it is about the center of the journal, but I always love it. I love playing around in the middle of the book. I haven't done my center strings, and I do like adding my hearts. I definitely want to do that. I think I put those in this little bowl this time so I didn't lose them. Okay, I'm enjoying having my little bits in this bowl. This was my grandma's, and I'm loving just the, the whole vintage feel and my grandma's bowl. It's just very, yeah, it just feels good. I'm loving it. So like usual, I'm just going to glue my hearts on really quickly. I did mention it in a previous video. I picked up some of this art glitter glue, and while I don't really love it in my journal pages because of the fact I just haven't been able to find any water-based glue. This stuff runs out really quick, and I forget that when I go to use it. I'm used to my gloppy glue. It just seems that any water-based glue that I try, it just wets the paper too much for my liking. I like the fact that well, I'm a little off with my string. I like the fact that my Fabri-Tac glue doesn't warp the paper. It also dries a lot more quickly than this glue. I haven't tried this on anything else other than in my journal, so I'm not sure. I'll probably like it in some other projects, but I'm not crazy over it in my journal. But one thing I do always love is fine points for things like this, so I decided to grab it because it has that fine tip. And the bottle that I bought on Amazon came with an even finer metal tip. I just haven't pulled it out to use it. Okay, so my hearts are on there. I definitely want to use some of my bags. I'm not quite certain how yet. I have some of this fabric. What if I added fabric to both of these pages? I've never tried anything like that before, but I have this scrap linen. That might be pretty. Of course, I'm choosing the center where I have my strings I want poking out. But what if I tore that to fit? I actually have a couple scrap pieces here. I'm going to try this and see what happens. As usual, this could be a complete flop. But I mentioned it in my last video, I think. This is just an old table linen, a linen tablecloth. It coffee dyes so beautifully, and I love just tearing it. And I'll show you how easily it tears. I just like to get it started. And then there you go. It just pulls right down into a strip. And I love that. And then I can use this piece somewhere else, or even stitch it into a ruffle, but I really like strips too. I'm liking this fabric background. Let's rip this one, hopefully. It's a little harder when there's designs in it, which this piece does have. Okay, I'm gonna try from up here. I might just have to cut it. This is a different piece of linen. I'm going to make it easier on myself and grab a piece that doesn't have any designs in it. Very nice. And I just kind of manipulate it back into shape. And this piece is wrinkly, but that's okay. I don't mind. And I just kind of clean up the edges a little bit. I also don't mind my fabric poking out. I like that. I haven't added any ruffles or fabric yet. And I do like that. So I'm just going, this lid, the whole top wants to come off my glue. I'm just going to start gluing this down. Now this Fabri-Tac can, oh, what's the word? I can't think and glue at the same time. And talk. I can't think, talk, and glue at the same time. It can seep through the fabric if you're not careful, which is okay, but I don't want it to show through. So I'm going to try to add the glue as thin as possible. But it's very gloppy, so I don't know how much luck I'm going to have with that. Of course, I'm going to glue over the top, so maybe it doesn't matter. I want to get some of this onto the center. Okay, let's see what happens. You do have a little bit of time to manipulate the glue, not too much with this Fabri-Tac, but that's nice. It didn't pop through or anything, so I'm just going to move my strings over and glue this side down. Okay. You could probably use a different medium for this too. This is just what I had laying around, so it's what I grabbed. If I can get that glue glop to stay on my fabric, I would be happy. Okay. Right, move my clip. That's fun. I like that. Interesting start. For now, I'm just going, well, I'll trim my strings up. I like them poking out though. And if I have to go around and add a little bit of glue, that's fine. Which I will add a little bit there to the top. Maybe to the bottom here. Just a little. That part's frayed, so I think the rest is pretty good. Maybe a little bit down the edge here. That just feels fun. I do think adding a bag over this would be fun. I have these coffee stained bags, this envelope, but I also have a few bits of this fabric that I really like. This is an old bark cloth fabric. Doilies would be fun, ruffles would be fun. I think I'm going to go down into my stash downstairs and see what kind of bits I have left over from this fabric. I grabbed my little pile of little bits and you can see there are just little scrap pieces that are left over. I love it so much. I love the fact that this fabric was super interesting as a whole, but when you cut it up, it really helps you focus in on all the little details. I think this piece is going to work maybe. I'm just going to cut this so that I have an idea. This fabric does not tear well at all. I know because I already tried. I hate to cut into that daisy, but I'm going to cut that into a strip. I'm just really feeling like I want that to be a strip on this page. And then because I couldn't tear it, I'm just going to fray the edges a little bit. And I'm not going to be scared of it. I'm just grabbing it, tearing it, pulling the threads out. There. And I don't know. I'm just going to set that there for now. This is the other side of that piece I just cut. I'm going to plan on using that here on the other side. So I'm just going to fray this one a little bit too. All right, now that I've gotten that out of my system, I better figure out what this page is actually going to be. I don't know. Okay, so I have my smallest little glassine bag here. Maybe I want to use that on my page. I have these larger bags, but I'm not certain that I want, I don't know, I can't decide if I want to cover up part of it. I kind of like that crinkly noise under there. I actually have 2 of those if I wanted to do the same thing. They're a little different, but not too different. I think I like this well enough. I'm going to lose the use of part of the bag unless, no, I don't want to cut it down. I want that fabric to go all the way up the page. I'm just going for it, and I'm going to glue these bags down. Like I usually say, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go for it. Something will come of it, right? Because I coffee dyed these, they did shrink up a bit, which you will have happen. So probably the tags that I usually use inside of these bags aren't going to fit without cutting down a little bit. Just be aware of that, but that's fine. I'm going to cover up half of the bag anyway. Oh, let's see. I definitely want some of that frayed edge to show on the fabric, so I don't want to lose that. I'm tempted to run the sewing machine over this, but for now I'm just going to glue it down. I could always stick my page into the sewing machine. That works out pretty well actually, especially when the book isn't full like it isn't right now. Sorry, I'm wiggling my desk, leaning up against it here a little bit. And I still want that frayed edge of that linen to show. There. I like that. Gotta watch my hearts. And now I'm just going to glue this bag down. So I hope that all of you are doing well today whenever it is that you are sitting down and watching this video. If you have this journal collection and are playing along with me, I hope that you are enjoying it and having as much fun with it as I am. I think it's been a lot of fun and it's different. I enjoy different. I like trying to mix it up a little bit. So this has been a lot of fun. And I think now I'm just going to glue this strip down. This glue is kind of a pain to use. I know that the gloppiness of it can be annoying to some, and it is. It's annoying to me too, but I have found no other glue that creates the same finish inside of these journals as this glue. I just really love it. I'm always tempted to use hot glue a little more than I do because of hot glue is just so simple to reach for, right? But hot glue doesn't really stand the test of time that well. This glue does. So I'm just going to deal with the gloppiness. I think I'm going to take my vintage photo ink. These are looking a little stark white compared to the rest of the page, so I want to ink those up a little bit. That's better. I don't know how I would use this yet, but I think I'm going to cut this little flower out of this piece of fabric. Maybe use it as an applique here on my page. We'll see. Include that leaf too. I think that's fun. So I have an idea of what I'm working with. I'm going to create a couple tags to fit in this pocket. Because I've glued down this part of fabric, I still have some room over there, but I just want to make my tag fit and poke out of the top of this bag. So I'm thinking 2 inches here. This one is a little wider than this one. These bags were a little different. So I would say 7 inches tall is good. And this one maybe 2 inches, and this one 2 1/4. So I'm just grabbing a regular piece of cardstock here. I'm going to cut it at 7 inches. And then let's try out a 2-inch piece and a 2 1/4. And this is just to have an idea what this might look like. It's larger, which is fine. Maybe I'll take a little bit off the top. And I can't cut a straight line with scissors to save my life, so I'm going to use my paper trimmer again. There. That's good. And let's see, I should cover those with something. I have these really pretty book pages. I also realized that I forgot to grab my music paper that goes with this collection. I didn't grab any for myself. I need to go downstairs and grab that. Okay, I went downstairs and I grabbed a piece of sheet music because I forgot to keep this in my own collection. So I just grabbed this random piece here. And I love the vintage music. So I think I am going to put this across the front, right? I'm going to tear mine. And I think I'm just going to glue it down here. And I just added a lot of glue because I don't want it going anywhere. And we will take a gamble on what part of the music we have there. I'm going to do the same thing with this piece of cardstock and just glue it down next to it. Okay, little bit of space, but not too much. And then I will just cut these out. So that is one of the tags there, which I love that. And the second, I'm going to glue some coffee dyed scrap paper on the back. You have a couple pieces of just some cut scraps. Here, some tea stain paper. Okay, I like those. And because I like these looking like tags, I'm going to round the corners of the top, which I like the cleft. Yeah, the treble and the bass cleft showing here at the top. So I'm keeping those up, and I think I'm just going to add a hole here so I can add some fibers if I want to. Right in the middle. And I definitely know I'm going to have to ink these up. Hopefully my lighting is okay. I feel like I'm fighting with it a lot lately, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm just going to ink the edges here of both sides, and very messily. I don't need it to be perfect. I just like having the edge on here because it gives it a little bit of a defined look, which is what I like. Just gonna get an idea for what these look like, and I think they're super cute. I do love this little applique guy I cut out, but I think I'm going to save that for a different project because there's so much of those dark colors going on here already. I want to do minimal decorating, I think. I do have these cute little girls from You Lady. Of course, I have cute little flowers from you lady, because she is amazing. And I am loving these rusted paper clips. I did rust these. Now, I found how to do this online. I will link the video down below. I think it was Sagita's video that I followed, and it worked really well for me. And it doesn't really change them that much, but it does strip off that metal. These were just regular silver paper clips. But I love the way that it looks, especially once you add it to the pocket. And something that I did in a previous video was I just added it and embellished with it, and I love that. I'm finding myself wanting to do that here as well. I also feel like if you have old buttons, you couldn't use too many old buttons in this journal. I think every page could have an old button on it, or 2 or 5. I do have these Tim Holtz stamps. They're called Flutter. I can link these down below for anyone who's interested. I don't know that I really want to use any patterns, but maybe one of these butterflies would be kind of cool. And maybe I do want to pull out. You guys know I grab for these stamps all the time. They're just some flourish stamps. I don't think they're made anymore. I could be wrong. I'll look and see if I see anything on Amazon or not, but I bought these years and years ago. I'm not even sure who makes them. They are just barely holding it together in my craft drawer. And maybe I like something like this. That could look like a little fluttering tail. Those of you who watch my videos know most of the time I go and I stamp in my book, and it's risky as to if it's going to work without making a mess or not. But I always like it, even if it doesn't come out perfectly. So I'm just going to use a vintage photo and ink up my stamp here. I think it'll match and blend well with the coffee dye. Make sure I can get everything as flat as possible. Oh goodness. And then just wiggle my stamp around since there's already so much going on here. Okay, I like that. And then with this stamp, I don't necessarily want the top half of the stamp, so I'm going to try to just ink the bottom. And that's probably good enough. I do like, you guys saw me back this page with something a little stiff, which I just have this old cutting mat. I wish I had something smaller, but I don't. Move my hearts out of the way and try to stamp this again. I didn't take the tags out because I thought maybe the firmness of the cardstock would help me have a nice solid base to stamp on. That one got a little messed up, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm going to use a smaller Dollar Tree acrylic block for this. And I'm going to grab my walnut stain. This one's a little bit darker than the vintage photo. So hopefully it'll make my butterfly show up. Or moth, I'm not sure if he's a butterfly or a moth. But I'm going to put him right here. Goodness, I hope I don't mess this one up. Okay, I like it. It's good enough for me. Okay, so I let that dry a little bit, and I am loving the Tim Holtz sticker words, and maybe I don't want to cover up my butterfly I just added there, and I don't necessarily like that gray either. Maybe part of my circle? I don't know. I'm gonna cut this circle. Maybe I like that. Gonna ink those edges up a little bit. Again, just so it shows some dimension. What about this guy? If I put him over there. I don't think so. Maybe if I put it down low. If I ink this. Maybe I could put that down here. Okay, I'm just going to glue these in place. Let's see, this is the small talk book. See if there's some words in here that I like. Okay, I think I'm going to add the sticker, keep life simple. If I can get it off the paper. I really like these stickers in this book. And I'm just going to go across that piece right there. Part of me really wants to put this paper clip here. Keep saying that. Maybe I'll just clip that right there. I like that. And then I have these tags for journaling. It definitely needs some fibers. Oh, I just don't know that I want to use these fibers. Maybe now that I can see that dark on there. Maybe this gray and white. Yeah, okay. And I'm just going to cut this in half and use one on each side, I think. I do like adding some glue to the top of those fibers so that they stay in place. But first I just want to get an idea for what it looks like. I like that. I'm just going to add a touch of glue, and I made a mess with that glue. That's what baby wipes are for. I need just enough to hold it in place. And then I think I'm just going to trim these a little bit. Let's see. I definitely want them to poke out of the book. Okay, I think that is it for now. I think that's it for this video. I can definitely see myself coming back in later, maybe when I'm working in this journal, and adding something along the sides here. I think it would look great with some garment pins or some safety pins. Definitely some buttons along the side. You could do a lot to embellish little fabric strips like this. But for now, until I get an idea of what, you know, some other pages in this book are going to look like, I'm definitely happy with this. I love the fabric background. I might do that more often. I'm enjoying all of just having a lot of background in this journal. I think it's fun, and I love the different textures and the crinkle. Yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun with this journal. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang out with me today and watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If any of you are interested in this timeless collection, of course, the Etsy link will always be in the description box down below. A little bit of a tongue twister there, sorry. If you aren't part of the Facebook group where so many of us are having fun and enjoying sharing some photos of different spreads that we are doing, there's so many wonderful ladies that are sharing their creative work in their journals as well. That link to that Facebook group will be in the description box down below, as well as my Instagram tag if you want to follow me over there. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!